Many of the family members of some of these missing or murdered scientists are extremely cavalier about their family member's death.
I hope it's random, but we're going to know in the next week and a half. I just left a meeting on that subject, so pretty serious stuff. But we're going to be hopefully, I don't know, coincidence, if you whatever you want to call it. But some of them were very important people, and we're going to look at it over the next.
National correspondent Nancy Liu is live in Los Angeles. So, Nancy, what do we know about this possible 11th case?
Well, Nicole, just before her death in 2022, Amy Eskridge had announced plans to present her groundbreaking work with anti-gravity technology. The 34-year-old had been openly experimenting in the field and founded a research company called the Institute for Exotic Science to establish a more public space for developments in anti-gravity work.
I started the Institute for one reason. One reason, the Institute. I started it as a public-facing persona to disclose anti-gravity technology through, because I told Mark this: if you stick your neck out in public, at least someone notices if your head gets chopped off.
Her death from a supposed self-inflicted gunshot wound has long been questioned since she had expressed that her life was in danger at the time.
Frank Milburn, a retired British paratrooper and intelligence officer who says he was in contact with Eskridge before her death, shared shocking messages with the outlet. One dated May 13, 2022 read, "If you see any report that I killed myself, I most definitely did not. If you see any report that I overdosed myself, I most definitely did not. If you see any report that I killed anyone else, I most definitely did not." Milburn says Eskridge told him that she had been the target of repeated physical and psychological attacks, including from a directed energy weapon, a device said to emit focused energy capable of causing burns or other physical harm.
There are SSP motherfuckers that are fucking twiddling their thumbs. Like, is Amy not going to publish soon? Gah, we've been influencing this bitch forever. Doesn't she know we want her to publish? Jesus. Like, there's multiple people doing that right now. And on the other side of the fence, there's multiple parties looking at each other like, didn't we tell this bitch 3 years ago that we kill people for this? Is she not listening? What is she doing? She's still doing it? What? We told her we were going to kill her 3 years ago. So I have these two different scenarios floating constantly in my life, where I have people being like, do it, do it, do it. You're the one, do it. And then I have multiple people being like, they're going to kill you. Don't do it. They're going to kill you. I have like multiple of these whispers in my ears. I can't even describe it. It's crazy. And then I even have the people that are like, this happens too. They're like, you know, they kill people for this, right? And then they're like, because you're a young woman, they're going to rape you before they kill you too. And I have people digging through my panty drawer, breaking into my apartment, digging through my panty drawer so that I notice. Like, I have crazy fucking threats going on right now. And it's stressing me out. It's stressing me out, dude. I'm stressed.
Eskridge worked closely with her father. And according to NASA, Richard Eskridge is a retired engineer whose many projects included novel work on a system to propel a spacecraft with high-speed plasmoids. Well, I spoke with him briefly today, and he dismissed any link between the death of his daughter to the 10 other scientists who've mysteriously died or gone missing over the past few years. All had links to government secrets and programs tied to military defense and UFOs. Richard Eskridge, he did not want to be interviewed, but he told me on the phone, scientists die also, just like other people.
Yes, scientists do die like normal people, but what isn't normal is the fact that your daughter made it clear to anyone who would listen that she is not suicidal. She said she was being harassed, and she was obviously in fear for her life. And it's not just Amy Eskridge's family who is poo-pooing the possibility that their loved ones' deaths may be part of a larger phenomenon. 6 of the missing or dead scientists' families similarly dismissed the theory out of hand, reacting with ridicule or even anger in some instances. Very weird. Retired Air Force General William McCaslin vanished earlier this year. McCaslin is a former astronautical engineer and commander of the Air Force Research Laboratory at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. The general's wife, Susan Wilkerson, has responded to questions about his disappearance with scorn and mockery. Neil does not have any special knowledge about the
ET bodies and debris from the Roswell crash stored at Wright-Pat, though at this point, with absolutely no sign of him, maybe the best hypothesis is that aliens beamed them up to the mothership. However, no sightings of a mothership hovering above the Sandia Mountains have been reported.
This is April. How may I help you?
Hi, April. My name is Susan Wilkerson. My husband is missing.
Okay.
And it's been about 3 hours, and I have some indication that he must have planned not to be found. He's left his phone. He changed his clothes into I don't know what. I think he's on foot. All of our cars and bicycles are in the garage. I left for a doctor's appointment at about 11:10, and he was here at that time at the house. And I got back from that at noon, and he was gone. He turned it off and left it behind, which seems kind of deliberate because he's always got his phone. He has a smartwatch. I don't know if that's with him or not.
Has he ever done this before?
Never. Nothing even remotely like it. He's a retired Air Force Major General. He's very responsible, but he's also facing some medical issues.
Do you have any video at your home?
No.
Has he been diagnosed with any mental disorders or anything like that?
Well, we've been seeing a doc for both physical and mental in terms of anxiety, short-term memory loss, lack of sleep. The same doc I went to see today.
Does he carry any weapons on him?
Well, not generally. He does have a gun safe, and I went to look in the gun safe to see if anything was missing, but I couldn't tell if anything was. He has quite a number of pistols and rifles. Other than saying if his brain and body keep deteriorating, he didn't want to live like that. But it seemed to me that was just a, man, I hate how this is going kind of thing, because I told him, yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Okay. We're going to send some deputies up to talk to you, see if we can search a little bit and see what's going on, okay?
Sure. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Mike Hicks was a research scientist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, or JPL, and apparently he died back in July of 2023 at the age of 59. But the cause of death was never made public, and no record of an autopsy being performed on him has ever been found.
I just know he is rolling in his grave, knowing that his name is going around being involved in something like this.
And Alexandria Hicks elaborated, saying, "From what I know of my dad, there's no train of logic to follow that would implicate him in any of this potential federal investigation. I don't understand the connection between my dad's death and the other missing scientists. I can't help but laugh about it, but at the same time, it's getting serious." Michael Hicks' brother, Steve, told TMZ his family knew the details behind Michael's July 2023 death, but they're choosing to keep it a secret. He calls linking Michael to other cases a bunch of silliness, adding he's had great scientific achievements and contributions to the field, and now he's going to be remembered for some baloney, Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, conspiracy theory. International, the news. David Wilcock's family breaks silence after paranormal YouTuber's tragic death. UFO researcher David Wilcock died by blank at the age of 53 in Boulder County, Colorado. The family of UFO expert and paranormal YouTuber has broken the silence over the death of David Wilcock, which took the internet by storm for the past 2 days. In recent development, the family has confirmed that Wilcock died by blank on April 20, 2026. In a press release from the Boulder County Sheriff's Office, Wilcock's family acknowledged that he was struggling with years of long mental health crisis, depression, and overwhelming financial debt. They also rejected the involvement of any foul play and any conspiracy claims widely circulating on X and YouTube related to the American author's tragic death. David Wilcock, I plan on living, not suicidal at all, just concerned about what happens when you prove God is real. In remembering David, it is important to hold more than one truth at once, as some of his work raised concerns about misinformation, and that he was also a person who was on an internal quest for clarity, the family wrote. According to family statements, like other human beings, Wilcox was going through vulnerabilities and complexities that affect all our lives.
Shot and killed 3 days ago at his home in the Antelope Valley community of Llano has been identified as Carl Grillmayer. He was a Caltech scientist. Colleagues say the 67-year-old made groundbreaking discoveries in astronomy and will be greatly missed.
Carl Grillmayer is was an extremely renowned scientist, and I would say he still is, because his legacy will keep on. I felt very sad because he was my mentor. He was a great colleague. He cheered me on. I cheered him on.
Louise Grillmar, widow of Carl Grillmar. She said on the theories, Carl would laugh at the conspiracy theories about his killing. I think it's absolute nonsense, says Louise Grillmar. I mean, there's facts, and they're out there. On statistics, she noted he would probably talk statistically to debunk the idea of a pattern. Louise continues. Regarding the motive, she clarifies that her husband, a Caltech astrophysicist, was killed in a localized revenge plot stemming from a neighborhood dispute.
The 67-year-old astrophysicist was gunned down Monday on the porch of his home in the barren stretches of Llano, the middle of nowhere.
Carl Grillmar's wife said this was a localized revenge plot stemming from a neighborhood dispute. There are no neighbors and there is no neighborhood. And far from being neighbors, Grillmar and his murderer didn't even know each other.
Investigators don't believe Snyder or Grillmayer knew each other, but Snyder was arrested in December for trespassing with a rifle on Grillmayer's property.
On his legacy, she expressed that an online speculation was denigrating his memory, turning him into a clue rather than a person. Carl's wife, Mary, told TMZ her husband's killing was an isolated incident. She says the perp had been arrested previously on our property in December. He was out for revenge, thinking my husband was the one who called 911. So he came back and shot my husband. Why was he on your property in the first place, woman? She adds statistics suggest the cases aren't connected, so she's sticking with that. Another missing scientist, Melissa Cassius' daughter, Sierra, returned home to work to find the front door locked and her mother's vehicle parked outside. She discovered her mother's keys and work cell phone on the kitchen table. Inside Melissa's office was her wallet, personal cell phone, purse, some dollar bills, and a paycheck Sierra gave her to deposit at the bank. Melissa's phones were wiped to factory settings. Mark Cassius reported his wife missing around 5 p.m. June 26, according to the state police. Mark and Sierra think she lied about forgetting her badge, and Mark said he saw her swipe in. They believe she left voluntarily. Sierra and her father searched through Melissa's emails and belongings and determined she was under heavy financial pressure. What? Sarah was in a car accident a few and a half years ago, Mark told Taos News last month, and there was supposed to be a settlement determined. I guess some other person involved in that deal wanted money too, so they pushed it along. Sarah was planning on that to happen. Then all that fell through. Melissa's parents, Jose and Joanne Mondegran, and her sister, Trudy Najera, don't believe Melissa would have left voluntarily. Melissa had a family trip to Navajo Lake planned the weekend she disappeared. She was also supposed to take her mother in for surgery, June 30th. According to TMZ, another family member named Paul said he believes Melissa wanted to go MIA, and the magic words, does not want to be found.
My husband is missing.
Okay.
And it's been about 3 hours, and I have some indication that he must have planned not to be found.
Your husband's been missing for 3 hours, and you already assume that he doesn't want to be found? Why did Carl Grillmar's widow mischaracterize his murder as a localized revenge plot stemming from a neighborhood dispute? Why is Amy Eskridge's father dismissing the theory that she might have been murdered? She was being harassed in a targeted campaign of intimidation. She shouted to the heavens that she was not suicidal. Then you have the husband and the daughter, Melissa Cassius. The husband theorizes that she left on her own volition because a settlement for a lawsuit didn't go through. From cracking jokes to saying that the murdered scientists would laugh at their own death, to laughing about it themselves. The behavior of many of these scientists' family members is highly suspicious and truly bizarre.